Guys, it's Barbie with Two Friends and a Bible. I have not done an update in a while, and I apologize for that. But, sometimes it gets a little, depressing, looking at all that. So I decided I needed a little bit of a mental break. So I took one. And of course, things change daily anyway. There's so much going on. So I'm just going to update with a little bit of information today on some things that I've gone through and found out about and got back on track. But honestly, it's like every day is a new crisis. There's always something going on. So I think what first thing I'm going to do is let you know is that Flora and I have started a Bible trivia videos. They're not going to usually be more than about 20 minutes. They're going to be shorter videos. But what we're doing is we're giving you clues throughout the videos on a character in the Bible. And you listen and you kind of try to guess who that character is based off of our clues. So it's actually just something kind of fun to do, something less doom and gloom. Not that our Bible studies are doom and gloom, they're not, but just something to give you something fun to do. So we've posted two so far, and we are calling them Bible trivia. If you go to our YouTube page, you can go in where it says playlist and click on playlist. And we have put together different playlists. Like we have our Revelation 101 series, our Revelation 201, our Daniel series, our updates. But then you can also see Bible trivia. Yeah, Bible trivia. And that's where you can find those videos. So you don't have to look through all of the videos to try and find them. Okay. So we're trying to make it a little bit easier for you. So I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving and everything was good and you enjoyed time with your family and friends. If you guys would like to leave us we're going to start doing videos on Monday, and we're going to be doing we're going to be doing prayer requests. So if you would like to do, if you would like us to pray for you for something, you can leave a comment here, or you can go to our Two Friends and a Bible page on Facebook, check like, and you can either send us a message or leave a comment on that page. Or if you really want to keep it private, you can send us an email at twofriendsandabible@gmail.com. And if you don't want us to say your name, please make sure that that you let us know. We're not going to say your first and last name at all, but we would mention like your first name, like Jane or Don or whatever. So, all right. So let's start with Israel. I always want to keep up with Israel. Yeah, that's all. That's the key to the whole entire end times scenarios, everything going on. It's the key. So we stick with that. We always keep our eyes on Israel. In fact, I'm going to Israel in May. If they don't blow themselves, nothing happens and whatever. That's our plan, my daughter and I. So, all right, Netanyahu, he is officially now the prime minister. He got his government formed. Everything is good. So he is officially the prime minister. And if you talk to Israelis, most will tell you that he is the favorite because he really has Israel in his heart. He really wants Israel to prosper and all that. So, and if you didn't know this, he actually served as prime minister from 1996 to 1999, and then again from 2009 to 2021. And then the government, there was, kind of overthrew him, and so he was taken out, but he won pretty good this last one. A lot of Israelis showed up to vote, vote him back in. So just keep Israel in your prayers that he can remain the prime minister and nothing else happens, because they had all those government troubles there for the last 3 years. So definitely keep them in your prayers that he can remain their prime minister, nothing happens. And also, the Palestinians are saying that come 2023, they're really going to be upping their attacks against Israel. So keep them in their prayers for that. I mean, we all know that Israel has got the apple of God's eye, and we know that he's going to protect them. But it's still, it's got to be traumatizing and difficult to live that way. I mean, it's got to be tough. I can't imagine, sitting here at my house and seeing, bombs or whatever, drones or whatever go over my house. I can't even fathom how they, deal with that. So definitely keep them mentally in your mind and, you know, um, keep their mental health and emotional and physical in your prayers. All right, so the U.S., United States, and Israel conducted joint air drills over the skies of Israel and the Mediterranean Sea just in the last couple of days. Israel's defense minister, Aviv Kohavi, went to the Washington, D.C., and was able to convince the U.S. defense to work alongside Israel regarding a strike against Iran's nuclear facility, hence the air drills. But many people do, including a lot of the Israelis, do not believe that number 46 is truly, truly serious about helping Israel with this threat, especially since 46 is so intent and so determined to get this Iran nuclear deal back on the table. So they don't feel that he's really going to follow through with this. But regardless, it doesn't matter. It does matter because they do need the help. But regardless if they help or not, Israel is prepared and is going to do this on their own if necessary. It was reported just a couple of days ago that Iran actually has enough uranium now to actually put 12 bombs together. Don't know if they're doing it. Don't know if they've actually gotten one. I don't know. We aren't being told that they do. If they do, I don't know. But anyway, they have enough now to get 12 bombs. And I can't confirm if that was 100% accurate, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was true. Okay, so do you know who this guy is? And I'm going to say his name and I'm going to butcher it. Okay, just give you a fair warning. But his name is Yanuka Rav Shaloma Yehuda or Yehuda. He is a rabbi in Israel, 33 years old, nice looking guy. He has memorized the entire Torah word for word, and he is really being put on the pedestal in Israel. If he comes out, he is literally just swamped with people wanting to touch him and get close to him. He's actually been reported to heal people. Even someone who had cancer says that he healed them. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I do know that a lot of the rabbis have said they have been speaking with the Messiah who they believe was going to come this year. And they're speaking with him, but they have not confirmed that this is who they're talking to and that this is the guy that they believe is the Messiah. I will say when you watch him, a lot of things that happen, like within Jesus's time, people would swarm him and want to touch him, like the woman who touched the hem of his robe. She knew that if she just touched his hem, she would be healed. This is the kind of stuff that's happening. I mean, it's just like in Jesus, with Jesus. So a lot of people believe he's the person that they're mentioning is the Messiah. They haven't confirmed it, but they have said that they are talking to the Messiah, but they haven't confirmed he's it. He's 33 years old. That's kind of interesting, huh? He's married, no children. Okay, so, as Christians, we know this is not the Messiah. We know the Messiah has already come. And so we need to keep a lot of all these Jews in our prayers to not be deceived. Jesus warns us in Matthew 24 to not be deceived. There will be a lot of false messiahs that are coming forward. And I believe he's going to be one. And then you've got the Muslims, they believe it as well. And if that they've got one, well, they believe they have two. And I think the Jews believe two. I think one is more spiritual, one is more political. But if Israel comes out and says, okay, we got us a Messiah, then the Muslims are going to come out and say, well, we got one too. And so we're going to have false messiahs all over the place. So just be prepared and kind of keep an eye out for that, because that could be, really sad, because they're going to be full. They're going to be full, and it's a sad situation. So definitely Israel is definitely needing to be kept in our prayers. And if you don't know anything, I'm going to spell this guy's name, and I would do like a YouTube search on him, Google search or something, and just kind of see what you find out about him. It's YANUKARAV is the second word. Third word, third name, SHLOMO. Last name is YEHUDA. Okay, this is the guy. And I think you're going to be quite surprised when you do some searching on him, that the way people are flocking to him. And then Israel, they did, the Jewish rabbis did say that the oldest heifer, those 5 red heifers that they got, that the oldest one is 9 months from being old enough to be sacrificed. And as of right now, they are all still unblemished. So that's interesting. You got all this going on. That's really interesting. Okay, so Iran, they still have that huge, massive uprising going on with their people. From last I heard, about 1,400 people have been put to death because of rising against the Ayatollah. And it's sad. It's sad. The longest uprising that Iran has ever had was 10 days. This one is actually going on about 90 days now, 80, 90 days now. It's quite long. They've never had one go this long before. So it's definitely interesting, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I know 1,400 people have been put to death. Okay, so we're going to talk about Russia now. Russia, their 2-ton RS-28 Sarmat, SARMAT, is also known as Satan II by NATO. It's officially been put into production. These are missiles that Russia is going to use to replace the older missiles they're using, which are the old Soviet ICBMSs, and those are left over from the Cold War. So that means they're, 40 something years old. They're old missiles. So they put this back into production to remove those out. So they're hypersonic missiles, and they're very heavy missiles. And they have a very, very heavy, what they call a throw weight that will, is actually going to have the heaviest throw weight of any missiles in the entire world. It's going to be quite heavy. And what a throw weight is it is the number of nuclear warheads that a missile can hold. So it's going to be able to hold more nuclear warheads on it than any other missile out there. So these hypersonic missiles, IBMs, they can actually travel as far as our country, United States, and they attach these warheads to it. And if they're going to put these back in production, they're going to be even bigger, and they can attach more warheads to come to as far as our country. Now, the belief is that it's not going to be for that. It's going to be more for closer countries like Ukraine, Poland, that kind of thing. So we'll wait and see, keep an eye on that and see what's going on. And we already know that Russia has more nukes than the US by maybe a few hundred. But theirs is a lot older than ours. Theirs is actually left over from the Soviet Union era, whereas ours are a lot newer and more advanced than theirs. So ours can do way more damage. Theirs can do damage. Don't get me wrong. Theirs can do damage, but ours can do more damage. So these new production missiles, the 2-ton RS-28 Sarmat, those being put in production, I think, are more concerning for places like Syria and Poland and Ukraine than they are for us. Because if Russia was to decide to send one of those over to us, we're going to respond. And ours are much more detrimental. So I don't think that that's something that they're going to do to us. But hey, I didn't think we would be where we are in the last couple of years. So, Yeah, so never say never, always be prepared. Especially if they team up with North Korea and China. Then it could be a different story. Yeah, and if they send to us, nuclear war is going to happen and we're going to win, as far as against Russia. So it's not too concerning right now, but definitely be prepared. Definitely. There was apparently Russia's capable bombers a couple days ago were seen getting ready to do something at the Anglis Air Force Base in Saratov, Russia, which is very close to Ukraine. Satellites actually were able to catch pictures of this, and experts are saying they are gearing up to do something with these. So they're doing something. They're getting ready for something, definitely. And honestly, there's been a lot of communication that's been really, really heavy over the last few days, which I'll talk about that in a second. So so yeah, I think something's going on. I think they're getting ready to do something. It's most likely going to be against Ukraine, but I still think they're definitely, and honestly, talking about Ukraine is, they're under almost complete darkness, no electricity. Many of the cities are without running water. The cities are having to evacuate, and it's extremely cold over there in Ukraine right now. And so no electricity, no running water, no way of cooking. I mean, they can make fires and all, and that's what they're doing. In fact, Ukraine has stopped all export of any type of like lumber, firewood, from leaving the country so that the people will have it to be able to cook and try and warm themselves throughout the winter. It's, quite cold there. And, unfortunately, as soon as they get their power back on, Russia, or at least somewhat working, Russia knocks it out again. So, yeah, so it's kind of a bad situation. I think Germany, I've heard, is going to be, is it Germany? I believe it's Germany. I might be wrong. It might be another country, but they're going to be sending them a lot of generators to help with this power problem. So hopefully they can get those soon and get some power back on for the people. What goes on between the governments, that's, that is not the Ukrainian people or the Russian people's fault. That's not their fault. So we really need to definitely keep them in our prayers as well, too, because starving to death, freezing to death, being knocked out with a bomb, because at this point they're hitting civilian cities and whatnot. So yeah, it's not good. The European Commission did state that 100,000 Ukrainian soldiers and 20,000 civilians have been killed since the start of this war. And the European Union is actually calling for a specialized court to hold international tribunals for war crimes against Russia for starting the war in Ukraine. And when they say that, they're talking about like the people that are in ahead of this, the military generals and defense people and whatever. They're the ones they're looking, not the Russian people, but the top generals and whatnot, and Putin, him too. And some people are saying it's interesting that they've done this now because Russia has really been exposing U.S. biological networks at the ninth review conference of the BWC, and he really was putting it out there about that. Many people believe that there are some biolabs in Ukraine and that there was some things going on. We don't know for sure, can't say yay or nay, but that's apparently what he is saying. And so this comes about the tribunal right after he starts reporting this. So you kind of have to go, all right. Now, what I was talking about a minute ago about we felt like Russia was getting ready to do something again. Another reason is because there has been a lot of emergency action messages over the last couple of weeks. But in the last 2 days, there's been over 50. And I think how they get these are messages that go from like military personnel to either number 46 or the Pentagon. And it's always done in code like alpha, all those words. And so you don't know what they're saying, but you know that they're going through. And there's been 50 in the last couple of days. And normally you might go a couple of days without even having any, but if you do have any, it's only a couple, whereas there's been over 50. And the last time that this actually happened, where there was quite this many, was right before Russia invaded the Ukraine. So kind of thinking something's about to go on. This was interesting. I was talking about, Russia probably would not nuke the U.S. most likely by himself, unless he got with, Ukraine and Iran and China and North Korea. Well, 2 Chinese fighter jets and 6 Russian fighter jets penetrated the South Korean air defense space, causing South Korea to scramble with their own fighter jets up and, going up to protect them. Nothing came of it, but it was like a warning, and kind of what we're thinking, it was a warning. So obviously we know they're working together, and that just kind of confirms it. Okay. The Dutch farms, some farms in the Dutch farms are reporting that they are going to be shutting down 3,000 farms due to global warming. This is in addition to food shortages already. Yeah, and so now they're going to be shutting down 3,000 additional farms. A lot comes out of there. So that's not good either. San Francisco is voting on allowing police robots to use deadly force. Yeah, this policy will allow the police robots to kill suspects. Maybe I'm just behind in the times, but I did not even know San Francisco had police robots. I had no clue. But now they are actually saying that they're going to allow them to kill suspects. And that's just kind of weird to me. But hey, it's time of the signs, state of the world. Many oncologists have sent an urgent letter to the medical boards and whatnot, and telling them, and like to the different, I don't want to say the names, but the different companies that make MEDSs, MEDICINESs. Yeah, they've sent many letters to them letting them know, and it's oncologists that are sending them, that people who have had cancer and like were in remission or doing really well and are stable, and other types of diseases that an oncologist or hematologist care for, that they are seeing a huge uprise in people who were stables, cancer disease increasing, coming back with a vengeance after their booster jabs. Yeah, they're progressing after the booster jabs. Quite interesting. 41% of small businesses were not able to pay their rent in November. This isn't the first time this has been happening. The housing market and commercial real estate market is predicting a crash in 2023, and we've seen those interest rates go up. We refinanced our house at 2.9%, and now I think they're at like 6.75, 7%. I mean, it's horrible. It's just going up. So yeah, if you're going to buy a house or whatever, you better do it now, because they're about to get even higher, if not crashing. Earthquakes and volcanoes off the chain. I mean, every time you turn around, I think Texas had a couple earthquakes the other day. I mean, they're just everywhere. But then you see the volcano that's going on in Hawaii. They're just everything is just off the chain. Food shortages. It's getting worse and worse. One world government talk. If you didn't hear Emmanuel Macron, he's the president of France. He is pushing it big time. One world religion, we know that already started. It's called Christian, and the headquarters is in the UAE, and it's called the Abrahamic House. And if I'm not mistaken, it's already open. There's like a synagogue, a church, and a mosque, I think is what Muslim call it, the three together. And that's where the headquarters are at. So all that is just going off the chain. It's just getting more and more and more normal. I mean, all this stuff is in the Bible. These things were prophesied. And, I remember studying in times like 30, 40 years ago, and you read it and you're like, well, how was that supposed to happen? How are the two witnesses supposed to be able to witness to the whole world? How's that going to happen? Well, we know now it's called smartphones, and internet, things that we didn't have then. So yeah, now we know how it happens. So it's, yeah. But, anyway, there's just so much going on, but I think that's enough for now. And I'm going to keep you updated if I hear anything that's like an emergency type issue. And, as we've stated before many, many times, be prepared, be prepared. I did hear that if there is, let's say, a nuke, let's say they do send one to us, that you have so much time to get into your house, and you have so much time to seal up your house, depending on how far the bomb lands from you. So let's say it's an hour from, like it lands an hour from here. I mean, you literally have like half an hour, 45 minutes at the most to get things sealed up. And they say to do it with duct tape, duct tape all the corners, seal up, plastic over your windows. Research and find out, where is the most likely spots for a nuke to hit, and see how close you are, and then research, okay, how long will I have, to protect myself against this, and make sure you have plenty of supplies in the house. We did get some duct tape, and we did get some plastic for the windows. We figured worst case scenario, you go through and you shut the doors in the house that you don't need, and you go ahead and get them sealed up. And then the houses that you do need, you make sure to seal up the windows and the doors and things. And you need to research how long you need to stay in for a fallout. And I think it is based off how far away the bomb was when it hit. Being told mainly about 2 weeks or so. There's a guy named NY Prepper. He is on YouTube, and he has like 9 videos, I believe, up about how to prepare for a nuclear war. And the last video he did, I haven't watched, but it talks about how to make sure your drinking water is okay. When we think about sealing up the house, but you got water coming in, if it's even working. But you got water coming in, should you drink that? No, because it's coming from the outside. How to prepare for that kind of stuff. So just some ideas, and if it doesn't happen, hey, we can always use duct tape, right? I mean, there's always that, you can always use that kind of stuff. And if you buy some extra food, you can always donate it to the food pantries, or you can always have it for yourself later if we don't need it. Better to be safe than sorry, right? Okay, so my friend Flora and I, we have been studying end times for quite a while. And the one thing that I can tell you is God is not sitting on his throne trying to figure out what he's going to do. What am I going to do? These people down on earth are acting like nuts. How am I going to handle this? He already knows. He already knows what happened. Don't worry. Don't stress too much. Just be smart. He gives us the signs. He gives us the clues. He's letting us know to prepare. Okay, so he's letting us know. He's saying, be smart. And he's got us in the palm of his hands, at least Christians. He's got us in the palm of his hand. Okay, and he's got us. So let's don't stress. Just be smart and keep looking up for Jesus's coming. Just keep looking up and making sure you spread the word and letting your friends and family know that all this is in the Bible. It was predicted thousands of years ago. We know what's going on. This is what's going on. And when I update this video, when I upload it, I'm going to attach a left behind letter in it. And it's one that we wrote, and it's one that you can leave like on your refrigerator or something in the event we are raptured and friends and family are left, or even strangers find our house and they're left, they can read that letter and see what's going on so that they're not fooled, and not tricked into what's going on, so that they'll understand, we don't want anyone left behind, not Muslims, not anybody, not our worst enemies. No, we want everyone to, and it's hard sometimes, I know, but yeah, we want everyone to go. So we need to make sure to, take precautions for that as well, and let our families know, and just get out there, and start preaching the word. Everybody needs to know Jesus. And even if the rapture does not occur, or if if it turns out we're post-trib and we end up going into the 7 years and we're here through all that, people still need to know what's going on, so they're not fooled into taking the mark of the beast. They're not fooled into believing that the Antichrist is this wonderful person who's going to come and save the world. Okay, so anyway, that's it for now. I hope everyone has a good day. I hope y'all are doing well. And thank you so much for stopping by. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.